Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world, and you, wonderful, magnificent, individual, personality you. Today, I would like to speak about immersing oneself and feeling into time and duration. Well, instead of looking at outside sources to truly know time, in a sense. When I say time, I mean instead of, when you, let's say, wait for something, you are looking at the clock. So instead of doing that, we go inwards and we feel and sense the present moment in a conscious way. Take, for example, our daytime consciousness. It is really, in a true sense, one big present moment with small interruptions here and there because of either our daydreaminess or our distraction or something that interrupts the otherwise consistent stream we have in daytime consciousness. We do become distracted by a lot of different things during the day unless we train and practice and discipline ourselves to be able to feel into time and into duration. For when you do that, you get to feel the present moment always and be grateful for it no matter what shows up in it. For it is like every present moment is kind of a stage play, and what is showing up every moment you are conscious. It is kind of like it speaks to you, and to solve these riddles we need to practice and train to be able to perceive the world in a new way. And through imagination, our mastery of thinking, enlivening of our soul, and allowing and pervading the whole of sense-perceptible reality with warmth and divinity, is what helps us spiritualize, because we immerse ourselves in these forces that helps us spiritualize. When I say spiritualize, I mean ennoble, enliven, resurrect our own inner being to become alive and awake to ourselves and starting to observe ourselves more like you are observing yourself from outside. So you are constantly taking notes of yourself to learn about yourself. For not only do you need to observe yourself from outside, you also need to feel inward. Feeling inward and sitting with your own in your own presence is not always easy and requires a certain courage and steadiness in our spiritual development through meditation. And the more you can relax in the present moment, the more you are able to let go of the fearful, let go of the insecurities and all of this, and allowing in for the forces of trust, faith, love, hope, and a certain gratitude. You allow the present moment to speak to you in a more open and clear way. You are objectively observing what is happening in outside and within your own inner being, and then trying to connect these two. For the inner and the outer are connected, but we try to allow in the things we need and the things that the higher worlds seem fit for us for growth and development, for they have a higher vantage point than we have. They have a higher knowledge of the human development than we have. So instead of trying to, force what we want to come to out in the world, we instead allow what we need to come to us instead. For, what we need is not often what we want. It is about lifting ourselves up enough so that we kind of know what it is we want, and what it is we want and what it is we need, we combine them. So it is just love for the spiritual work, love for God, love for duty, love for humanity, for the individual, for you, for me, for him, for her. For we do this for every individual on this planet. What group you belong to, what gender, what interests. Interests are important, of course, but to a much higher degree than your gender and your physicality in general, is irrelevant here. For your soul spiritual being is not a gender. It is not a race. It is an individual, an ego, a I am. And that is not indicative to any physicality. It is something you allow to shine through anyone you meet. It is about not allowing in any kind of degrading or disrespectful thoughts or feeling about anyone, any single one really. And it is about to hold that human decency, for it is a discipline to keep our inner being in this condition, in a condition of objective loveliness, objective compassion for the world, and also working every day towards and striving and aspire towards a better future for every individual on this world, and for allowing in the beautiful, true, and good souls and spirits that are in the hierarchy. And, well, being inspired by these forces is certainly something that is enlivening, to say the least, for they are here in our hearts and in our moral conduct and moral tact and understanding. For it is difficult to explain something we don't have we don't have language tailored for it. So we use symbols, we use pictures and imaginations that try to convey what we truly see and perceive with our being. Not easy when these beings are more feelings, so it becomes it is a more dreaming. When you go down into your being and feel and go and sense and are sitting with your emotions, you sense that they are dreamy. You cannot truly put clear pictures on them like you can with your thoughts. And that is why we indirectly, when you feel or think, you're using your whole being. It is both a sense organ in a sense and also a perception organ, and for your spirit and your soul. So allowing yourself to feel into that, and your thoughts is what we master first, and your feelings comes after your thoughts in a sense. So for if you are thinking about, if you are clearly, consciously thinking about something that brings you warmth, something that makes you grateful, something that brings you reverence and a certain childlike wonder in the moment, your feelings follows that. And when you think about these things, you use your will in your thinking. We are not meant to affect our will. You see here in pictures, right? When you actively think about something you become grateful for, you utilize your will to think with. Your will is invisible here because you are the will that utilizes thinking in your being, in a sense. So becoming aware of all of this, in your own inner being, allows you to become more aware that the higher worlds are trying to guide our thinking and our feeling and our will in a healthy, moral, nurturing, and loving way, instead of in an egotistical, self-serving, materialistic, and hedonistic way, or on the other hand, ascetic way. For we are not meant to cut life out cold turkey. We are truly meant to embrace life in a balanced and moderate and civilized, I guess, human way. We are not meant to become neither gluttonous, slothful, greedy, envious, wrathful, lustful, prideful. Pride, sloth, lust, gluttony, greed, wrath, and envy. None of these we are meant to fall into and become, in a sense, in any moment. For they can take us over, you know. It is about holding our being clean and clear and humble, so that we have as clear as possible a communion with the higher worlds that brings in inspiration through our feelings. And holding ourselves anchored by pervading outer physical reality with these beings allows us to hold ourselves anchored to reality. So we do not cut out materialistic science in any way. It is but one aspect of reality. We just awaken perception to the otherwise non-perceptible forces that is guiding this reality, that builds up this reality, that creates an architecture, that brings architecture and form to reality and movement to reality. It is not any dead forces, not any random forces that does this. We just awaken through clairvoyance what truly is going on behind the scenes, in a sense. And that requires us to actively and consistently dedicate ourselves to the promptings and the inspirations of the higher worlds. For they wish us to meet them and to awaken to their guidance and to their communion, obviously. So, and that requires us to purify and to shed and let go and transform a lot of our inner being over a longer period of time. And that longer period of time is kind of our test period. They constantly hold us to discipline to see, can you be patient over a longer period of time and only see progress here and there now and then. And it might look like you are standing still at a point, but you are really not. Progress always is here. One needs to remind oneself of it, and in gratitude, and be grateful for all the progress you make, but also for every step of progress, 3 steps of moral character. We need to always be a step ahead in our moral character. It is super important to hold our heart strong to goodness, truth, love, and authenticity. And I will leave you with this today. So may you be protected, guided, blessed, and loved by Father, Holy Spirit, Christ, Jesus, Michael, ancient masters of old, ancestors from every incarnation, higher hierarchy. And may you be provided for with all that you need to survive, live, thrive, being creative and inspirational, and healing to the world, so others can follow when their time is right and they are courageous enough to start their own journey and find out for themselves what reality is about. For when you awaken to that curiosity, to not listen to anyone's theories about anything, but you actually try to find out for yourself through your own direct perception, that is when things become interesting. That is when you are starting to be exploring the hidden depths of reality. And it requires us to know ourselves and to master ourselves. For if we haven't come to understand ourselves, we cannot truly understand the universe, in a sense. But by going inwards, by exploring, studying, meditating, being curious, wondrous, in a childlike wonder, but with a mature discipline. For one can be gentle, loving, nurturing, kind, but also strong, disciplined, protective, and careful. It is, you do not need to be either or. In the middle, you are both. That is why we stick to the balance, the middle, or else the pendulum swing would be either or in a sense. But in the middle you have them both in a conscious, clear, loving, nurturing way in the duration of time. And through the present moment we work upon ourselves so that in moving forward we can shine and radiate our authentic spirit constantly every day in gratitude and love. And we strive towards having that as a constant inspiration over a longer period of time, and learning to enjoy the journey and not try to seek for the rewards, for they will have their reward. Enjoy the journey and allow the duration of time to play every day. And over time it starts with a tiny bit of time every day, and then it grows and grows until it becomes autonomous. It becomes second nature. You have it on all day, every day, constantly in a sense. And this by no means is unhealthy. For you do regulate and moderate yourself also, so that you do not become isolated away from the world. You work with this reverence into the world by inspiring others and trying to be good and truthful and loving to the world yourself, ourselves. So, thank you so much. Bless your soul and spirit. And see you later. Love you. Goodbye.